Old joke, old song, because we're old people. No. Yeah, we're young at heart. Anyway, hi. So we talk about voices in our head, and luckily we are very, very blessed to occasionally get paid to do so. We work in the lovely, lovely industry of animation and video games, and we're here to answer your questions. And I'm sure the big burning one is like, how did you get started? And we could do a quick bullet point version if you guys are down for that. I started in radio, and radio, which is a different industry now thanks to the internet. But it was a dying one even back in the 90s when I first, got my Bachelor of Arts degree from University of North Texas and said, I'm going to go be a DJ. Back when DJ meant being an announcer on the radio, not dead mouse. But when you hear about auditions at Funimation, I'm like, yes, I would love to do this. I've always wanted to do this. So I got lucky. I got, Dragon Ball Z, this obscure show no one's ever heard of. So it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. I got to do that, and it's literally been like a domino effect. Dragon Ball Z led to Yu Yu Hakusho, to Blue Gender, to Full Metal Alchemist, to moving to LA 7 years ago, and then getting onto Naruto and Bleach and Gurren Lagann and Street Fighter and all these awesome things. So I'm very, very blessed. So great to be here, guys.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisle Wilkerson. I also, yeah, I'm gonna give my own, I'll be my own hype woman. Just kidding. So I also got my start in radio. Woo! I started in radio at 19. And I wasn't born, but I grew up in Tokyo. So I was born, believe it or not. So I've done most of my voiceover work actually in Tokyo. And because I speak fluent Japanese, I do it in English, both English and Japanese. I do a lot of video game work that you guys might know, like Tekken. I do Nina Williams. Woo! Yeah! Christy Montiero, and also Virtua Fighter. I do Sarah Bryant and Shenmue 2. I did 8 characters, don't even remember, because it was a low budget thing, so I kept going back and doing more and more characters. It was like slave trade, just kidding. But, and then I also did Crazy Taxi 1, same kind of situation. I think I did all the female characters in that. And Rumble Rose, I don't know if you guys know that, but just a lot old school stuff especially. So I, like Kyle, started out in the early 90s doing video work and just a lot of other stuff. I also do interpreting. I'm living in LA, so I'm also media court. Hey, Sunny! Woo! Sunny Straight, everybody! So with me, I do a lot of correspondent work for Japan, like the Academy Awards and the Grammys, and a lot of the big events like that I do for interpreting for and everything. So thank you, and it's great to be back at A-Kon.
Everybody, I'm not on the mic. There I am. Woo! Ooh, am I ever on? I'm Cathy Weseluck. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. It's great to be here. I've never been to Dallas before, and this is really awesome. So I'm having a great time already, and I've barely been here. Thank you. And I also started in radio, so it's not that uncommon, I guess.
Wow.
But I started at the CBC. I'm from Canada. I was born in Toronto, and I live in Vancouver. And I got into radio and became an associate producer and got out to Vancouver, where the host of the show said, "You've got a good voice. Do you want to try doing voiceover?" So I didn't know what that meant, and I thought, sure, it'd be a hobby, and since then I've been doing it, so it's great. You probably know me, some of you, from a long time ago when I did Ranma 1/2 shampoo in Ranma 1/2.
Hey, yeah, wanna take shampoo to date.
And I've also played the voice of Nier in Death Note, Cyber 6 and Adrian and Cyber 6. Let's see. Gundam Wing, Dorothy Catalonia. And what am I missing? The Dragon Ball Z, Chiaotzu and Young Trunks. And for those of you who are wearing pony ears, then you know me to be Spike and the mayor in My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. So have a wonderful time this weekend. I hope we get to meet some of you guys, and we're looking forward to a great time. And here's Todd.
Alrighty, hi guys, my name is Todd Haberkorn. I did not get my start in radio, but I have a car radio. Sirius satellite radio, ladies and gentlemen. Howard Stern, yes, right on, very nice. That's my favorite. So I got my start doing theater. I did musicals when I was a little kid, about 10 years old. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I've had the pleasure of, that's what's so funny about this industry. Like in theater, I have played everything from a wizard to a knight to a cop to a ghost to a, you know, the love interest, the villain, and then I go to a commercial audition and it's like, well, he just can't bite into that burger the way we want him to. It's just, you know what, we're gonna go with somebody else. It's like, it blows me away. You know, when you go to these auditions, we're like, he's just not wearing that JCPenney shirt the way we need him to. He probably can't pull it off. Like, meanwhile, I've directed like 12th Night and been in Shakespeare plays, but I just can't deliver that line of like, we love Pizza Hut, just the way they want. But so doing theater, doing film and you know, writing plays and directing plays, and that which led into the film thing. I went to SMU for college and had a good time there. Yeah, how many people? Anyone go to SMU or have been to SMU? Right on, ponies, get them up there. Yep, get them. And so don't worry, it's a very exclusive club, just you and I, and over here. But which led to voiceover. Voiceover kind of found me. I was right out of college. You know, you always get worried as an actor. It's like, you're like, well, and you know, you've always got to have something going on. So I was working with my agency and doing gigs, but then also at the same time, I was like, you know, oh man, I need to do something else. And so I went in and I began teaching theater to middle school. And I did that for 2 years. So I was like 21. I was 20 when I graduated college. And so then, I taught a little bit, and voiceover came along, and it was actually picking up speed just by the nature of the business and where it was at the time. It was picking up speed very rapidly for me. I was directing in less than a year that I was there. I was writing in less than a year, and so this decision came, and I was like, man, do I go, you know, all the way into voiceover or stick with teaching? Because I had to do one or the other. Because you can't, if I'm going to teach, I got to do it full on out. Because the kids needed that. Because already they were getting like not a super cool version of me, because I was on set doing like stuff with Barney and things like that, and I was exhausted. And so I have to, you know, work on my theater company and then wake up in the morning and go to school. So what I did was I was walking down the hall in the school, and I taught in Grand Prairie. And so I taught at Truman Middle School. And then I taught at Jackson. And you guys know what those schools are? Jackson? I taught at Jackson. Okay. I was walking down the halls, and I won't say who this teacher is because he's probably still there. But you can see the look in their faces when they've just surrendered to what they were doing. They can't do anything else. They've put too many years in. They can't do anything else. And he was walking down the hall like he was about to walk into an arc reactor and just explode. And so I remembered that look, and I go, that's it. I'm going into voiceover. And so I gave up the 9 to 5, and I've been doing it ever since. And so I've been very fortunate to be able to just, you know, be an actor 24/7. I feel very cool about it and very good about it. And I hope that guy who had that look on his face is doing something that makes him happy, because it clearly wasn't what he was doing. But yes, I'm happy to be here, and which brought me here to you guys.
I did not know you were a school teacher.
Yeah.
Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl fantasies. Am I right? Can you imagine him walking into the theater department and they're like, oh my God. Mr. Haberkorn, do you need someone to help out after class? And that's the guys. I came in late. My handler dropped me off in the wrong grand ballroom. But I assume it's who we are and how we got into the business? Yeah. Okay. My name is Sonny Strait. Yes, that's an incredible name. Thank you, Mom and Dad. It's awesome. I am primarily known as a comic book artist and voice actor. In comics, I'm known for my work on ElfQuest. Yes, a few ElfQuesters out here. And my own book, We Shadows, that was published at Tokyo Pop. Thank you. And as a voice actor, I am known for Krillin on Dragon Ball Z. Kamehameha, bitches. Maze Hughes on Full Metal Alchemist. Drossel on Black Butler. Usopp on One Piece. And now we're back on TV, and I was the original Toonami Tom. That's right. I raised you kids. And I got into the business. I'm actually a Texas native. I was born in Kaufman County. You guys know where that is? It's out. You know where the sticks are? Go beyond them. And then I was raised in Mesquite, Texas. That's right, home of one of the world's biggest rodeos, which is not the best place for an aspiring artist to live, but it actually encourages you to get better and get out. Not if you're from Mesquite, I have nothing against you or meth or whatever you guys do there. It's cool. But I had to get out really quick. I majored in theater in college, and while I was in college, I got published for the first time, so I dropped out of school, focused on that for 10 years, and then I started getting the acting bug again. And so I started doing theater in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and Funimation moved to Texas and had open auditions for Dragon Ball Z. And I got the part of Krillin, but as you know, Krillin dies a lot, so it was a part-time job. And Cartoon Network liked what I did with Krillin and asked me to audition for Toonami Tom. And when I got that role, I kind of realized I stumbled onto a career. And that's me in a nutshell.
Very good. Now, if you guys are ready, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start taking some questions from the audience. Since there's so many of you and some of you guys in the middle, and I could never get in the middle with the microphone, if you guys have a question, come over here, line up behind me on this side, going along the wall that way, and we will start taking questions that way. Now, the first question, while everyone's lined up, I'm going to ask you guys, if you can see me over there, is, let's see, the question that everybody always asks, how do I become a voice actor?
Yeah. Cathy's covering that later in the panel.
All right, so the answer to that is come to Cathy's panel.
Yeah.
All right.
That was easy.
I will add to that. I was on a panel with Eric Vale. You guys know who he is? The voice of Trunks and Sanji, many other characters. And I think Kyle was actually on this panel too. And there were about 12 of us on stage. And he said, how many people on the stage set out to be voice actors? And how many in this stage? Raise your hand, right? Well, me. Only Kyle Abear. But generally, most of us just did not raise our hands. And he said, that's a very important thing. He said, then how many people up here set out to be actors? And most of us raised our hands. And he said, that's an important distinction. You need to love acting. You need to get acting skills. Because your job as an actor really is auditioning. Acting is such a small part of it. You got to get work. And if you're limiting yourself to just voice acting or even just anime voice acting, you probably won't be able to eat on that. So get acting training. Most of the actors you're competing against now have at least 10 years of some kind of acting experience.
And let me interject something that I heard Kyle say last year at NitroCon when somebody from the audience raised their hand and said, Mr. Aber, I think I want to be a voice actor. And Kyle stopped him right in the middle of that and goes, that right there tells me that you're not going to be a voice actor. That statement, I think I want to be a voice actor. Someone who's going to be a voice actor would say, I want to be a voice actor. There's no thinking because you got to have that drive and that commitment.
I'm going to be a voice actor.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know, when I started in Texas here and voice acting and things like that, I was with Funimation for a long, long time, still am, in a different capacity a little bit. But when I went to LA, I decided to go to LA and try it there. I planned for a year, taking meetings, going to meetings, getting with agents, checking it out. You know, I have family here that I had to leave and go 1,400 miles away from for work, and that was a huge, huge sacrifice for me to miss out on some of the things that are just come with family. But I made that decision because I didn't think I wanted to be a voice actor. I knew it, that I could do nothing else, and that I'm going to make such a big sacrifice to do it and spend so much money doing it. I walked out there with $15,000 just to spend on acting stuff, and it was gone in 2 months. Okay, so I mean, I prepped for it. I saved, you know, I put a little nugget aside just to do that, to join SAG and join AFTRA and before they merged and all that kind of stuff, to make sure that I was able to get out there and make it happen. But on top of that, I had already been doing this for a very long time, and so I had connections. I knew how to handle myself in an interview and an audition and things like that. And every day that I'm out there, I'm thinking about all the sacrifices that I've made to get there. So that's why when we hear people that say, I think I might want to get into this, like, I think I might need to go to the store and pick up some smoothie stuff to make for tonight. I'm not sure if I ain't got time for that, because that's not what I did. And so I don't respect that. What I respect are people setting it down and you know, putting their nose to the grindstone and making it happen. That's how you get results. So keep that in mind also at the same time. This is a very tough business, and when I went out there, I had a huge resume from Texas. That doesn't mean anything in LA, because I'm going up against Yuri Lowenthal, Troy Baker, Travis Willingham, Sam Riegel, you know, all these people that have already been ensconced in that environment out there that are in my vocal range. And so I'm having to start bottom rung there and work my way up, even though here I've done, you know, a lot of stuff. We used to record Sergeant Frog 12 hours a day. You know what I mean? And so then I go out there and I'm like, man B on da 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 da, you know. And so it's a different world. It's a different thing. So.
Can I quickly just add to that too, because I can relate to Todd. I've heard stories about getting in and people who've had trouble and some who've had less so. So it really does vary, but hard work is important, being honest about how you sound. And I too have taught for over 20 years actually, and I cast and directed, and I've seen a whole lot of change in how things have gone about. Like even from the training, the workshopping, now people can get, I'm popping all over the place. People can get in home, you know, little home studios, etc., and they think that that's going to get them more work. But as Todd said, you really have to be honest about how you sound. You have to get, I think, a good coach or do a good workshop. But you have to be realistic, because the other thing is too, some people do work very hard and work from home and do online work. But really still, it's important to be in a major city. It's important to be honest about how you sound, to get a good coach to tell you that, to do a lot of ad-libbing, and to take it seriously, because you will need something to fall back on when you start anyway. You're going to need some kind of income. So I'd say don't give up the dream, but be realistic and honest about it when you go forward.
And I'll add a little bit more. I think another really important part that, because everyone of course loves anime and they love, you know, or video games or whatever, and that of course is a huge part of voiceover acting, but as we mentioned earlier, there's so much more to it as well. There's commercials, there's company, you know, promo videos, or, I mean, there's all kinds of other aspects of voice acting, and it's really important to also be as versatile as possible. You know, like, say for instance, because I do voiceover work in Japanese as well, you need to really kind of hone into your strengths, your weaknesses. You need to constantly be challenging yourself as well. It's something that you never stop learning, at least in my experience. I always try to continue growing in what I'm doing. So just because we are guests at A-Kon doesn't mean that we're still not going through a lot of the hard parts, the aspects, you know, of the industry. And so that's another thing to kind of keep in mind.
Yep. Auditioning is such a huge part of the job. So much to the fact that you give 110% when you try out for something, and then you divorce yourself from it, because chances are you're not going to get it anyway. You have to have a thick skin. You have to be patient. You have to take the time, the energy, and the money, and it is expensive, to take these classes and train and move to the West Coast, for example. We're here in the States, that's where definitely where you want to go for character-based voice work. Don't ever say no to opportunities to widen that chance to act. And it's like, well, I only want to do anime. Like, no. If you have a chance to be in a student film, do it. If your friends are trying to wrangle you together to be in a play, do it. Because you're going to learn stuff from that, and you're going to be able to call that experience and use it in the booth someday. Promise. Improv. Huge, huge, huge thing that we all have to do in the booth. Every kind of actor needs some sort of improv training, and you can get that here. There's lots of great improv workshops, and I can't
And you
stress that
need
enough.
lots of chocolate so that if you feel really bad, you can eat it.
Exactly.
All right.
I'm all behind chocolate.
All right, we have our first question. Step right up here. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Aurelia Martinez, and my question's one for Todd and one for all of y'all. Todd, I watched the video for Funimation show. I'd like to see your tattoo.
Oh, the tattoo, yeah. So I'll tell you how that came about. So what happened was, for those of you that have not seen the show Fairy Tale, first of all, shame on you. That show is I have a blast doing it. It's we're going to 100 episodes right now, and that's because of people out here that saw it and bought the show. You made the 4th volume one of the best sellers of all time for anime. It was fantastic. But yeah, that's you guys. You guys did that. Yeah, go ahead. It's for you guys. We with Fairy Tale, I told the fans earlier on, because I was not going to have another D. Gray Man situation where we did half of it, we don't do the rest. I'm not going to have another Sergeant Frog situation where we do 86 episodes of 323 episodes and we don't do any more. So I said, okay, if we're doing Fairy Tale, I'm going to push this sucker. So I went out on the concert and I said, I'm going to make a deal with you guys. If you guys buy enough of this show and support this show enough and you get it to where we go to 100 episodes, I will get the Fairy Tale tattoo. Now, there are 176 episodes, so if people still keep supporting and still loving it, bam, we're gonna do all the episodes. It's not rocket science, that's the thing. Why do you think they're making another Wolverine Origins? It's because everyone saw the first one to see how bad it was, but Hollywood only says, oh no, they love the movie, they went to go see it. No, I went to go see it because I knew it was gonna be horrible, but they don't care about that. So, you guys keep supporting it, we're gonna do it. So the director went and got one too. He wasn't even gonna get a tattoo. And he's like, you know what? Pain looks pretty cool. I think I'm gonna do that. And so he got one also, right on his leg. So here we go, this is it. Yeah, that's because of you guys. I've permanently marked my body with a Funimation property. There we go.
All right, and you had another question?
Yes, for all of you. What's your favorite part about what you do?
Yes, the chocolate. My favorite thing about, well, when I was in my 20s and struggling, I just said if I could make my living from the arts, I would be successful in my mind. And that is what I feel every day. I'm getting paid solely to do artwork, and that's what I love about it.
I love the thing. A typical week for me will be narrating an audiobook that takes place in 15th century China. The next day, working on a video game, an RPG video game, or like working on Defiance, which is that show in sci-fi, working on that video game. The next day, working on Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan over at Bang Zoom. Follow that up with a convention where I get to say hi to you guys. Following that up with editing a promo commercial that I shot in, Malibu for this author, and that's 1 week. So there's all those different jobs in one. So I never know what's going to happen. So it's exciting on one hand because of that, but then it's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. Like my mother, who is a doctor, she's like 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. Multiply that by like 30 years. She knows what she's going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what happens next month. But we get out there and we try and we do what Kyle was mentioning about auditioning, things like that. We have a good time. Maybe go have a burger, maybe have a slushie or a smoothie or something like that down at the Grove. Right there. Then you walk into Neiman Marcus, you buy a couple pairs of pants, maybe a handbag, a man purse, I don't know. You go back to check your computer, see some auditions, maybe do a couple of them, maybe sit down, play a little Black Ops 2 with your buddies that are in Texas and you're on the West Coast and you're 2 hours behind them, so then you have to set up a time when you all can play because my friend has a baby and he has to put him to bed and then play. And then we get to go make dinner and you get to have something like that and then you use the Vitamix, you make a smoothie with 1,000 different ingredients, you go work out and you go to bed and do it all over again.
Lather, rinse, repeat.
I'm from Canada, so I don't even know what he said.
We don't either.
I have to agree. The variety of the difference in the shows and the projects you do from day to day, and working with your friends, working with a voice acting family every day, and great directors and people, and also just getting a chance to come and see you guys. You guys are what make it happen. So thank you.
And I know this, yeah, we'll do a battle. I would have to agree with them as well, not knowing what I'm going to be doing the next week. And like Todd says, sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not so good. But and also just being able to grow constantly in what I'm doing, and just realizing even aspects of myself that I didn't even know existed, you know, through my work and everything. And yeah, that's, I think, my favorite part.
To echo everyone's sentiments, especially Sonny's, it's just like, if you can cobble a living, a comfortable living, doing what you love. I'm the big purveyor of this, and I turn into Tony Robbins every time, I swear. I don't mean to, but I mean, this is like, come on. If you have a dream, and you have something that you really want to do with your life, and you can't say, oh, I'm just stuck, you know, doing Starbucks for the rest of my life. It's like, you don't have to. You don't have to. It starts with a vision. Not everyone's going to be a voice actor who wants to be a voice actor, but try it. Take the steps and try it. Otherwise, you're going to wonder what if. So I took the scariest step for me was leaving Texas, where I had to leave my family and friends and everything, and it paid off. There's no guarantee, though. There's many people that move to another city, and it doesn't happen for them. That's the scary part. It's all risk. There's no guarantee. You could train and have all the talent in the world, but if the planets don't align and all that, it's not meant to happen. But, you know, fortunately, all our paths, you know, the things have seemed to work out for us. So, you know, you just have to want it so bad that you don't see yourself doing anything else. So I'm very, very, very blessed that I get to do this, talk to you guys about how blessed we are in doing what we do, and yeah, it's just awesome that way.
But also at the same time, going back to what they were talking about being honest with yourself about what you can do. You can want something super, super, super badly, and that may not be the thing you need to do. That's why he's saying try it. I want to run through that wall like the Kool-Aid Man. But as bad as I want that ain't gonna happen. We're all gonna be at the ER over my bed while I'm getting shot up with morphine to kill the pain. Okay, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, try it out. But you're gonna know, if you're really honest with yourself, you're gonna know early on whether or not that's the career for you. Yeah?
To add to that, failing is perfectly fine. Not trying is not. So I think you should try to run through that wall. That's what I'm saying. If you really want this, Todd. Oh yeah! But you don't, like Kyle said, you don't want to be on your deathbed and going, oh, why didn't I even try? You know? I mean, I've tried a lot of stuff and failed. I didn't realize that's not for me. But at least I tried, you know? And I think that's the most important thing, is lack of regret.
I mean, I tried to ask out Angelina Jolie one time. Had I not done that, maybe she would have gone for it, maybe not. Now I know for certain that she would not.
Not in her.
Ever. Now I know.
All right, I think we're ready for our next question, so come on up here. Let me throw this out real quick, a little guideline. Since we do have a lot of folks here, there is one thing I would like to limit on the questions, and that is please don't ask any of the folks up here to do any lines from shows that they were, and also please don't ask them to, say if you have a camera or a phone, to ask them to say a line while you record it. That's just in the interest of time. We're running really long here, and I see we got a lot of folks. So, what's your name? What's your question?
My name's Dana, and I cannot put into words how much I admire you all. I just wanted to know what character if you can think of a character outside of anime or that you've done, then that's cool too. But what character was hardest for you to empathize with, to play?
The hardest one for me was I was walking in the hallways of Funimation, and Chris Bevins, a director there, said, "Sonny, come in, I got a part I need somebody to do really quick." And I said, "Okay." And it was this fat, sweaty guy, I relate to that, but he was buying soiled panties from a soiled panty store. I didn't even know that existed, so that was really hard to relate to. And I'm like, what do you do with soiled panties? Make soup? I had no idea. And stock, yeah, it's stock. I had no idea. So that was the hardest one to relate to. Most of the characters I could find empathy for, though.
A-Post from Rin is a difficult one. If you guys haven't seen that show, I'm not spoiling anything for you, because if you haven't seen it at this point, it's been out like 5 years. The show, that's like when I'm trying to tell someone about RoboCop. They're like, don't tell me, I haven't seen. It just had its 25th anniversary. I don't think you're gonna watch it anytime soon. But with that, I like torture people, and I can end their life and make them immortal at the same time. So whatever state I've put them in right when they die is the state they stay in forever.
That's totally you.
And that's why it was so easy to relate to, that part. But it was really the wings that I couldn't relate to. But yeah, that role was kind of creepy and weird.
I forgot about Garcia in Black Lagoon, so yeah, he's just constantly after Revy, and I don't know, it's a little dysfunctional, but I think the toss-up for me would be between Shampoo, who's passive-aggressive, bit of a warrior, a little crazy, although I can be that way sometime, and I guess, well, I was going to say Chaozu, the clown boy, Dragon Ball Z. A lot of fun, though. I mean, we can relate to all of them in some way or another, so they're all great challenges.
For me, probably Batsmaru. For those of you that know Hello Kitty, you'll know that he's the little character that gets into trouble all the time. But that was because I had to do that in English and Japanese. So when I do English and Japanese together, because the rhythm of the language and the way you approach the language as far as voiceovers go is very different. So that's always, it just wears me out, you know, and for me, just because even though I grew up in Japan, you can never know enough Japanese, and I'm so hard on myself as is already, so when the director is like, "Chiga, dame, mo chotto kochi," you know, like telling it, you're just like, you know, you feel like quitting. But so for me, it's always the voiceover work that I do in Japanese and Batsumar.
I have a hard time relating to Aizen on Bleach because he's so polar opposite of me. I mean, I'm not a maniacal, you know, psychopath trying to take over the world because it's all part of my plan. He's Aizen? But he sure is fun. He's really fun to play and easy to voice. I like having a character that doesn't have to shred your voice for hours on it. Amen. I mean, if there's any voice, I have yet to encounter any voice actor who loves screaming at the top of their lungs and shredding their vocal cords, because yeah, it's just not fun. But yeah, I would say Aizen, sure.
What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Ben, and my question is, what are your thoughts on the recent trend where a lot of mainstream animation will get Hollywood talent to do the voices? Like, well, how do you feel about that whole? I can assume some things, but I guess the follow-up to that would be: is there any concern that that will bleed further and further into what you guys do, or something like that?
That's always a stickling point for a lot of us. It's like, hey guys, stick to you have your on-camera gig. Let us do what we do. It would be nice. I don't know why Hollywood has that obsession thinking that box office numbers for the animated side of things necessarily correlates to a box office name. I don't know. I didn't see Toy Story because it was Tom Hanks. I went for the story. And the toy story. Hey! But yeah, no, I mean, it's very wounding like when, you know, you have something like Wendy Lee or Billy West getting hired by Hollywood to teach the celebrities to sound like them. That's kind of a slap in the face, right? Yeah, gosh, and then there's this, it's just a huge waste of money. You know, when you hire someone like Gary Oldman, who's an awesome actor, and you spend all that money to get him to record on Call of Duty, how many Call of Duty players care that there is a celebrity on Call of Duty? Nobody. Exactly.
And I think what's interesting too is like I don't think they take enough time to really realize what you, the fans, want. I mean, you're the ones who know all the details about all the shows that we do, and you can tell the slightest nuance difference in the character. I mean, my goodness. I mean, more so than you're asking us questions, and I can't remember the color of the curtains that I stood in front as Dorothy Catalonia in Gundam Wing. But I mean, it's fascinating, and you guys know those nuances. I think they should be listening to that rather than the box office hit thing. So it's, and as far as how do we feel about them getting the role, I mean, you have to be flexible as an actor to just accept what you do get and be grateful for that, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you go play in your playground, we'll play in ours. And also, a lot of times when they get hired, they're not very good. They're not good. For instance, there's this one show where they hired a guy to do a voice for a lead in a cartoon just because he was a name, and they discovered he couldn't do any battle reactions or any kind of reaction. So they got a local voice actor to do just his reactions that sounded like him. But it's like, why go through all that trouble? Just get someone that's actually good. Because a lot of times, and I understand though, I understand why they cast those big names. They think it's going to generate revenue, or they think they're going to get some connection because they're using Bill Shatner for something that he's going to do anything, and it's for me it's not as fun for you guys because you're only seeing, like, for example, Rise of the Guardians. Now Alec Baldwin is an exception. He's like a Renaissance man that can do it. He was very good, but everyone else was kind of just like, okay, they're kind of blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. There are some very talented actors who can do voice work as well, and but like Jack Black played that shark in what movie was that? Shark Tales, and he app name. He put on a funny voice, right? And I think there are thousands of voice actors out there that could do a better funny voice for this character. But then in Kung Fu Panda, they did it around his personality, and then it really worked, So I think sometimes it's a star vehicle or whatever. That's cool. But if you're just going to do plain old voice acting work, there are a lot more people out there that can pull that off.
Right, Chris Rock make $1 million. He walked into the booth and he's playing himself in Madagascar.
But Eddie Murphy had to play Donkey. Who else could do that? Even looked like him.
What's your name? What's your question?
Yo, I'm Kakashi, and I had a question for Todd Haberkorn. I really liked all your videos between you and Vic and stuff, and I liked your last one. I just got through watching it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, thank you.
And I liked the end with the tease of CSI. I was kind of wondering if you were gonna do another CSI video.
So he's talking about the Tribute Wars. Vic and I went back and forth on the Tribute Wars. If you guys haven't seen it, go online. It's on YouTube. There's Todd of the Rings. There's the Todd Haberkorn action figure. There's the Manana Chronicles, CSI Manana, all of these things. We had a great time doing it. Now, Vic and I didn't work together at all on these. In fact, I did something for his, and I told him to do something for mine. He goes, yeah, I'll do that. He never did it. I knew he was going to do that to me. But we did our own things. But for me, I have moved towards just original content type things, because although those are a lot of fun to do and they're a lot of work and time consuming in a fun way, I want to do stuff that attacks the industry in just a little bit different way. And I've got a couple ideas that I'm working on right now that'll be showing up here later. Vic and I work together on Star Trek Continues. That's what we do. So Commander Spock, and he is Captain Kirk, and so we work together on that. But right now, that's as far as it'll go. So and that's a full year to prep anyway, because we shoot 2 episodes a year, and so. Yeah, we showed it at Phoenix Comic-Con to a 4,000 seat house, and we were scared we weren't going to fill it. It was full, and we signed 1,500 posters afterwards, us, the royal we, signed 1,500. I was at a different con, but I got all the coverage for it and saw everything. It was really cool. So we're so grateful for everyone watching it and checking it out, and so we're gearing up for the next episode and all that good stuff. If you guys haven't seen that, it's on YouTube again. StarTrekContinues.com. You can go there and check it out, watch it, let us know what you think. If you like classic Trek, I think you'll like this.
Writers from the show?
Oh, yeah, we had writers. Thank you, Sonny. Actually, we have writers from Enterprise, Voyager, Deep Space Nine wrote our episode. We have the Counselor Troy was the voice of our computer. Jamie Bamber, who is Battlestar Galactica, was in it. We had Michael Forrest, who was the original Apollo in Who Mourns for Adonis from the original series. He reprised his role. We've got James Doohan's son, Chris, as our Scotty. We've got Grant Imahara from Mythbusters as our Sulu. We have the largest recreation of Star Trek sets in the world. We have a 10,000 square foot facility which is going to be expanded. I mean, we've done it up. We've got the original boots from the original people that made them for the series, and we've gone all out. Vic has spent an enormous sum of funds that could fund Nigeria for a year, but we're using it for much more important things like episodes. So check it out and let us know what you think. Yeah, thank you, and thank you, Sunny. Yeah, vote We Shadows, people.
All right, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Anna Richards, and I have a question for Todd.
Hi.
In your point of view, what are the negatives of being a voice actor?
I would say.
Just for you. I think everybody can answer that question.
The negatives of being, maybe it's doing something like the only one that I can right off the top of my head think of is that like you're saying, you get the Hollywood types coming in and swooping down and taking things from us, like from our village. You know, I'm making my loaf of bread here, my voice actor bread, and then, you know, Alec Baldwin will swoop in and take it from me and make me pay a tariff for the bread that he stole from me. And then I would say going out for a role or not getting a chance to do a role that I know I could do, because when I auditioned for it, like when I auditioned for Spider-Man, I auditioned for Spider-Man 3 or 4 times for Marvel. They know who I am because I've auditioned for it so many damn times. And the things they were like, we wanted to go with him, but we wanted him to be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Things that could easily be done with just some direction. Just give me some direction, I can do it. But instead of giving me that opportunity, they're like, we're gonna go with this person over here. That's a negative, I would say. You know, what about you guys?
Well, I'm not Todd Haberkorn, so I don't know what the most difficult thing about voice acting could be. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna pretend. Oh my God, let's see, people. That's my best, Todd. It's not even very good. The hardest thing for me is actually on my voice. You know I do Krillin, right? I can do that all day. Usopp is like Krillin with a hitch, and oh my God, that hitch kills me. Especially since he screams all of his lines. At first, Usopp was, you know, he would have casual conversations with people, but as the series progressed, for some reason the Japanese actor thought, hey, it'd be really funny if I screamed everything I said! And oh my God, it is funny, but oh, ouch. That's the hardest thing for me.
It's not funny. No, it's not funny.
I'm starting to think we have our own village over here. Negativity, oh, you know, it's, it boils down to acceptance after a time. When you start out, you're hyper aware of, am I going to get that job? Did I do this? Oh my gosh, what else is out there? What could I be doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then as time goes by, like with any job, all the mysteries become knowledgeable things. It's like when you go and get a new job, you don't really know quite what you're doing, and then 6 months go by and you're a little bit more confident. So you kind of understand how it works. You know you have to fall back on something to begin with. And I think basically at the beginning it's probably the unpredictability of it. If you have a series, there's a lot of anime, which a lot of the shows are ADR, we call it. I don't know if you guys call that ADR here too. But it's lip syncing to a picture, so the show's already been done in Japan or whatever, and then we lip sync the English version. But then we do prelay format, which I'm sure you guys do here too, and that's just working in scenes, you know, scene by scene by scene. So if you have a 13, 26, or 52-part series, you're good to go for that length of time. But then once that's done, again, it's unpredictable as to what comes next. So I think if there's a quote negative, it would be the unpredictability of the work and what's next. But you learned that that's just part of the rhythm of it.
No negatives on my part. My life is perfect. No, I would have to agree. It's lack of job security, really, not really knowing, you know, what's going to be coming next, and a lot of times kind of having to create your own job opportunities sometimes, and always putting yourself out there, not knowing if you're going to be rejected or if they're going to like you, and yeah.
There is that level of acceptance that you take the baggage that comes with the good. Yes, we get to be on cool projects. The downside is there's a lot of downtime between. There's no consistent level of work. You could feel like there's momentum because I got on this role, on this game, on this project, and then you don't get called for weeks. You'll have a great month followed by 3 slow months, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's feast or famine, and it happens to everyone. the new guy, the established veteran, everyone of every walk of life and experience goes through this time where it's like, I don't know what the next thing's going to be, but we just have to accept it.
She's sitting there thinking, yeah, I really wanted to hear Todd.
It's like, I really wanted him to say pasta. Just,
We're all different versions of Todd.
we could all say pasta.
I don't know, Sonny did a decent Todd. I think that was... What's your name or what's your question?
Hi, my name's Emily Moore, and I was wondering what kind of exercises would you do, like, trying for voice acting?
What?
What kind of exercises?
Yeah.
Actually, like to do at home, or what you would do? Basically, if you walk around your house and you're doing voices and you quite don't know why, or you do it with your friends, or you do it in the bathtub or whatever, those are ones that I think are like already kind of baked. They're already in you. So I'd say work with those and get them down and record them and play around with that and ad lib with them. And then maybe play around with your friends and write little scripts and explore. And then maybe get some training and go further with that and have someone pull other ranges out of you. That's what I'd say.
I'd say like read aloud. Pick something, anything. Read aloud every day. Become confident. A lot of people start